Indians. They're all in this picnic area.
Well, yeah, because it was built for.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you use the tables too?
Shelter, and a fire pit,
They were
and a
probably
barbecue.
They were probably using the tables for beds.
I heard that the
barbecued
Mormon
horses.
settlers took the Foreman grill after everything was done. Yeah.
So then the Indians had nothing more to fight for.
Yeah, exactly. You know, what are you going to do then? So, and they won it at a raffle anyway. So, that's it.
Story in the news today.
You believe in ghosts and the paranormal?
Now, are they UFOs, or are they like some crazy experimental, governmental planes that they're building?
And police in Española are catching more than just criminals. They're catching images of what they believe are ghosts.
There was this weird animal-like creature that was shot, wolf-like creature that just stood out in some odd ways.
All right, so welcome, Ashley. We have a guest on the phone. You guys might know him if you've been listening to the podcast. His name is Mike Pardue. He actually is the founder and lead investigator of the Oquirrh Paranormal Investigators. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Not too bad. We also have John and Josh in the house here.
Hello, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi. How you doing?
We're good, thank you.
So we had an investigation that OMPI did, and again, that's short for Oquirrh Paranormal. I just don't want to say it all the time. So if you hear OMPI, you know exactly what that is. Mike, you and Jen were kind enough actually to meet me out at the Kiwanis Park, I think in Pleasant Grove. Is that what they call that town?
Yeah, Pleasant Grove. Well, they call it Pleasant Grove now.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that weird, sordid history. We were out there for what, about 2 hours?
Yeah, we got there for a little while. It was interesting.
It was very interesting. I'm going to let you kind of kick off some of the history. There's a reason behind this. For those of you who don't live in Utah, you really don't know maybe the synopsis. And surprisingly enough, for a lot of you who do live in Utah, you probably don't know what happened here either, which is even sadder.
Yeah.
Mike, you want to kind of give some history?
Sure. Well, we went out to Kiwanis Park in Pleasant Grove because we were investigating some claims of paranormal activity out in this park. It's kind of more like a canyon kind of area. Well, what had happened there was Brigham Young assumed that a band of Timpanogos Indians had been stealing their horses. So he called the militia in to hunt these Indians down and do whatever they had to do to put an end to it. As this militia was hunting down the Indians, they received word from Brigham Young that the whole thing was a mistake. The horses were not stolen, and they had recovered the horses. And the leader of this militia decided, yeah, we're going to go kill them anyway. So they surrounded them in a place where back then it was called Battle Creek. It's Pleasant Grove now, but back then it was called Battle Creek. And they basically massacred men, women, and children as they slept.
Huh. Yeah.
The Mormons like to call it there was a battle. There was no battle. This was a massacre.
Yeah.
Well,
that's awful.
The claims were of you could hear, voices, you can see faces in the shadows, and so we went there to check it out, and actually did get some strange vibes while we were there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Actually, there was one area, and just also top off a little bit of the story. Not only did they kill all the Braves up there, but they took the women and the children back to Salt Lake to make them. They dressed them, educated them, whatever you call that. What is that called? Brainwashing, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. There's like a whole sordid history behind all that kind of shit.
Yeah, like you do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's insane how it happens. But when we come to, and you'll listen to this too, once we get the bulk of this episode, it's just going to be our recordings out there in the field. But when I first got there, it was you haven't arrived there yet, Mike, and I don't think Jen was there either. there was an area that I sensed, and you'll hear it in the recording, but I literally couldn't turn my back on it. Like it just was, it was very ominous. We felt that in Skinwalker when we were up last weekend. You just felt like there was just a weight on top of you.
Around that whole area, there's a vibe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The feeling you get is it's hard to describe. It's almost you're almost feeling like what they would have felt. Fear, curiosity, anger. It's just you'll know it when you feel it.
Yeah, it's very foreboding, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna roll into that, and then after the recording, we're gonna come back and we're gonna recap. So I hope you guys enjoy this. It was very interesting, and stand by.
It was a massacre. It was murder.
Yeah.
These Indians, they just wanted to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And then they say, and then there was a battle. There was no battle. You massacred these people.
You just fucking killed everybody. So,
Mountain
you know what?
Meadows
If I was an
massacre.
Indian tribe and I believed in a Skinwalker, I'll be good goddamn if I'd plant them here. I probably would.
Absolutely.
Why not?
So interesting how, they say this whole area is active, right?
Right.
But I'll bet you that is.
Oh, up in the canyon?
I think in September we should hike up in there.
There's
Just like they're in the
two.
mouth.
How
we should
high
hike.
did it go?
So there's a
Only two.
waterfall that goes I think there's a trail over here, and then there's a trail that goes up here and it loops and connects together evidently. And I think that's 2 or 3 miles out. And I cut a couple blogs where people absolutely won't hike because they hiked back when it was dusk from the waterfall, and they couldn't get through this park to get to their cars because of everything going on. Now,
Really?
I don't know, how true that is, but
Paranoid people? Or is it...
some of them said we never even
that's-
heard of the legend.
and
There's a
that's why
couple
we
blogs
call
that
it-
we don't even know.
That's what we call an investigation.
That's right. Fact from fiction.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
We'll
So
Let's
figure
see
it
if
out
this
for
works.
some guy had
ourselves,
almost got divorced from his wife because she got, I guess, on the outskirts of what was going on. She's like, and she just stopped in her truck. She goes, something's wrong. She goes, I can't go through there. You go, oh, come on, you're being and he kept coaxing her. She ended up going down around the reservoir and back around, and she missed the part completely. Wouldn't talk to the guy for a week.
See, when you get
And she doesn't have any background of believing in it. She just,
when you get to a point where you just absolutely can't bring yourself to go through an area, there's usually
there might
something
be a reason
to that.
Yeah. Now maybe you're a big pussy. Could be.
But
I've
Most
been
of
known
the
to be a
time,
big
for
pussy
you
most of
guys,
the time.
most of the
Hey,
time.
I got a flopping vagina. I'll tell you flat out. I'm fine with it. But I've learned to decipher that from actual, what we got going on here. But yeah, that canyon. It just number one, it's looking at it looks surreal. It's like, oh my God, could you imagine?
it was easy to find the Indians. They're all in this picnic area.
Well, yeah, because it was built for.
Yeah.
Why would you use the tables too?
Shelter and
Yeah,
a fire
exactly.
pit
They were
and a
probably
barbecue.
using the tables for beds.
Probably
I heard that the
barbecued
Mormon
horses.
settlers took the Foreman grill after
Oh,
everything
did
was
they?
done. Yeah.
So
But
then the Indians had nothing more to fight for.
Yeah,
at that
exactly.
point.
What are you going to do then? So, and they won it at a raffle anyway. So, that's a lose-lose situation there.
So I'm thinking the rawest form is that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some
So-
pictures snapped of that with the what is that
Get some
peak? Do we know?
pictures.
I want to see if I can get up on that little rise there where that tree is and see if that is a rise or
Oh,
if
there
that's
you go.
just where it just gets ugly.
Give me a rise there, Mike. God damn.
Well, I do excite.
That's what I heard. The tales are true.
I was telling Chris at work too. I said, my God, I impressed me. I don't want to be like you guys. Okay, yeah, I just want to get up here. I can actually see the canyon, but I don't want to go so far I stop breathing. So
Yeah, I kind of thought. I told Jen last night that it was official. You were dead. Haven't heard from him.
I'm going to get up here and then I'm going to throw up.
Oh, yeah, here you go.
Okay, now we get a little better. This must have been the lookout.
Built by Home Depot. Back in the day, they probably only had one. Yeah, this is nice. I like this. Well, I gotta shut that shit off.
Yeah, that doesn't creep anybody out.
All right. I know one person that creeps out. I think it's fucking hilarious.
And that's why you do it.
Uh-huh. glutton for punishment.
Everybody hates you,
That's all right. I've been hated before. Ladies and germs, we are at, what is this, just Kiwanis Park?
Yeah.
Is that right? Is there another name to it?
Used to be this
it used
area.
to be Battle Creek.
The area used to be Battle Creek.
That's what that's
And
the road I
then-
was going down. So that's what they named it originally, right?
And then they changed it to Pleasant Grove.
What a nice way to make it sound so much better.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's the best way to
Cover up.
cover it up. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
sure.
just call it Pleasant Grove.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know, this town that, called Hemorrhaging Wound, let's change it to Smallville.
Yeah.
Just to make it sound a little bit better.
A little better.
So, yeah, so
let's look up the name Kiwanis too and see where Kiwanis comes
I think Kiwanis is an organization of sorts, if I remember right. But we can look it up because there's several Kiwanis parks.
Yep.
I had them in Montana too. So,
I think they're almost like a VFW kind of.
yeah, that's what I think. They're like Shriners.
The Kiwanis or
Yeah.
Kiwanis, something like that.
Come on, you want a Kiwanis?
But there's got to be a name.
Right, that
I'd
is
like
attached
to know what
to
it
it.
was called when the Indians lived here. Like, home.
You're like, come on, you want to lay me type thing. So, anyway, yeah. So the lore, and you guys know more about it than I do. We're about 45 minutes out of Salt Lake, roughly.
Roughly.
1849, is that the year we're looking at?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And what happened in 1849, might I ask?
Well, I was confirming Jenny's yep, so you might want to ask Jen.
Okay.
So,
like,
apparently, Brigham Young had some horses missing. Jumped to the conclusion. I don't even think it was a conclusion. I think it was just.
Must be the Indians.
must be the Indians. Who else would
Has
it
to
be?
be yeah, it wouldn't be anybody.
Well,
in his
Indian.
own
Yeah,
group.
we got horses missing.
No, we stumble on a bunch of
Yeah.
stories of research right from the library also.
Who say
of-
that very same thing.
Yeah,
There was
exactly.
never
There's no
any
reason for it.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I think the one I read, they sent a scout out on the one I read saying to go tell the Mormon settlers, no, hey, wait, that's not what
It
happened.
didn't
They don't have
happen.
it.
It didn't happen. Yeah.
And what did the Mormon settlers do anyway?
Well, it was their militia that
Mm-hmm.
they'd send out, their army.
Sure.
So they send them out to hunt down this tribe of Indians who stole their horses.
Timpanogos tribe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's a tribe called Timpanogos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're unarmed.
Sure.
Because they did meet up with some Ute Indians
Right.
further west, and they became a interpretation and a guide when they approached
Oh,
the
okay.
Timpanogos Indians.
Okay.
I'm assuming they didn't tell the Ute tribe that they were going to go massacre the Timpanogos
Sure.
tribe.
Let's keep this quiet
Hey,
Yeah.
they were transparent.
to a certain point.
So, after hunting them, they finally come upon them here, in this area. They send out part of the militia to cover the canyon, so the Indians couldn't escape into the canyons.
Yeah.
So basically, completely surrounded them. Now they're saying that,
As you would do.
yeah,
If
like
you're a
you do.
militia of Mormon militia. Yeah.
So apparently, they gave them the opportunity to surrender, and the Indians refused. Two things. I don't think they gave them any opportunity to surrender, and even if they did, you think they're going to refuse?
Yeah, they're already invested, right? I mean, that's kind of the gist that I felt on reading the blogs that I read. So,
Well, why would they
Squirrel in the tree
Yeah.
over to my left.
That's the strange noises you hear when you come here.
the skinwalker again.
So, yeah.
Which
another
we'll get to.
Notice the rabbit's gone, so...
Yeah.
So basically what happens is they give them the opportunity to surrender. The Indians refuse. Why would they surrender for no reason in their own home?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you really didn't expect that? They expected them to say,
Sure.
Screw you, get out of here.
Sure.
And then a battle ensued.
Well, thank you for the rabbit ears.
Yeah.
Loose ended term of a battle.
Yeah.
So,
And these were unarmed Indian tribe. I mean, you knew that they were throwing rocks. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking we're unarmed. So basically massacred them and took over the area. And I think that was the plan from the beginning, the same as Mountain Meadows Massacre, which we'll be going to see.
yes, exactly. That's another field trip we go. Well, and you know what? The pattern fits from the time I've been in Utah. And obviously, you know more well than I do, both of you, of how the Mormons decided to kind of own the state,
take over.
I guess.
Well, there was a reason they were pursued.
Sure. Oh yeah, of
Because
course.
they had been doing it. They just
Right.
got away with it here because there was no settlements here.
That's
at the
right.
time.
That's
So
right.
They got away with it.
That's why they left Missouri. But enough bashing on the Mormons, I guess. Though we can do it all day.
It'll come up.
Okay,
again.
so that if this was a violent battle,
Mm-hmm.
that would lead to some paranormal activity.
Of course.
Or some residue, or
Right.
some residual, residual energy.
And this area, they say, is very, very active. So, but some of the stories that there was another group that came up here. They were saying that some of the stories are if you sit where we were a minute ago in
that little gazebo area.
The pavilion.
you hear voices,
Right.
and if you look into the trees, you'll see strange faces. Well,
Right.
that's shadows. I mean, I'm
Well,
not gonna,
I've been taking pictures since I've been here just because that's what I've come across is a
Yeah.
lot of faces, and this is what they see. There's also something I stumbled across. Other than the massacre, there was a story, and I don't know if you guys can verify this. There was the reservoir, there was actually a creek or a pond or something in this area.
I think there's one straight down.
It's down the way, right? Well, supposedly a mother's child drowned. And she committed suicide in the same point once she figured out that he was gone.
I saw that story.
And so that's supposed to be added to here, of course, and all the other spirits. There's a skinwalker stance to this, too. We want to talk about that a little bit?
I haven't read anything on this.
I didn't read the skinwalker part.
Okay. All right. So I ran actually several posts, and one was out of a journal, evidently, from a tribal member, which might have been Timpanogos, but I didn't catch a tribe, that after the massacre, what was left of the tribe. So the Mormons killed all the men, all the boys, right? And then took the children and the women, as you would do, took them to Salt Lake and reformed them, I guess is the word, or gentrified or brainwashed, whatever you want to say. What was left of the tribe, they actually...
They're still doing that, right?
Oh, they're still doing that.
They're still doing
Yeah,
that.
it's still happening.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. They just do it in other countries now.
Yeah.
Because they ran out of food here. So, but after that happened, there was a curse that was put on this area of a skinwalker. So, for those of you who don't know what a skinwalker is, a lot of tribes have them, to my knowledge. I know the Ute tribe. I talk a lot on Strange Uncles about the Skinwalker Ranch up in the Uintah Basin. They firmly believe in the skinwalker lore, which is a shapeshifter of sorts, usually the shaman of the tribe.
Yeah.
Can change into whatever they want to, scares the hell out of their enemies, scares the hell out of other tribes. And supposedly that's what oversees this area as well.
Defenses, yeah.
Sure, which, if that's your only defense mechanism after you threw rocks and they still killed you,
Yeah.
okay.
I have no reason not to believe in skinwalkers. There's a lot more interesting stories than that. But if there are skinwalkers and you were going to, if you were one, this would be where I would be.
Oh yeah. Yeah, with all the energy and everything that happened.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
And the animosity and the angst and the hate and the anger. Oh, of course.
Draw a lot of energy from a situation.
Something to be said about the psychic energy, and I don't care who you are or what culture you come from. I believe it exists, and I don't know where.
It absolutely exists.
Yeah. So
just like the Earth itself has an energy field.
it runs on a frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ley lines.
Everything in it, everything on it does as well.
Right.
And it's in sync.
Right. Well, and then it also can tie into, again, lore of the Tulpa, where if you get a group of people, for example, the Golem is a favorite of the Jewish tradition, where enough people believed that they wanted something to not massacre, but get back at their enemies, they psychically made something appear and conquer.
I think there's something to it.
It's been in most cultures across the world.
I think there's something to it. I mean, every story has its
Look out, there's a butterfly.
It could be a shapeshifter.
It could be.
Has its foundation in truth.
Mm-hmm.
All folklore does.
Sure.
How dramatic it becomes differs.
Yep.
But it all has a basis in truth. This particular story here touches me because of what happened and because of the
makes me angry.
Brutality of it.
Oh, it makes me absolutely angry.
Yes.
I mean, and I know that sounds, I don't know, cliche, I guess, but it really does, because it goes with the whole this area and how it got made and how it just. This is not the first time, and it was not the last time. That there was a group of people.
I'm sure it's happened times that we haven't even heard of. I mean,
right. Right. That was never.
It had to in
Yeah.
order to. This area wasn't settled. Well,
Yeah.
it was. It actually was settled.
It was. Yeah. Okay. that's a whole nother episode.
It was
right there.
just open to interpretation.
And
Sure.
It was
Sure.
violated.
It was violent. That
was
is the word.
violent.
It was absolutely the word.
Yes.
So.
A disregard to other religion.
And a disrespect.
Sure.
A disrespect for life itself.
Culture.
Yeah.
You know.
Didn't care.
You know. If you're not us, you're an enemy. Period.
Yeah. And once this militia was told, hey, this didn't happen, the horses are still there, then they continued because they didn't want to just waste all that time.
Yeah.
Don't want to be a waste of time.
You know, hey.
So-
yeah, I already ate my lunch. I've got it packed in the
Yes.
bag.
And here's another
Already
part
on
of
the
the story
road.
that just annoys me to no end. Well, they've been stealing cattle, so we're going to go ahead and do this anyway because we want to stop them from stealing cattle, right? Well, on the way to do this, they killed some cattle and had a hearty breakfast.
You know-
so it was okay for them.
Right. Right. I'm sure.
And along the way, we're going to do exactly what
We intended to do anyway.
yeah.
Right.
We don't need proof.
Right. Right. So paranormal aside, just a shitty, sad situation.
Yeah. A horrible situation.
And then
And
you
just
kick everything
killed.
else into it.
And when they wouldn't send out their women and children, they dumped rocks on top of them. So the women and children come out battered and bleeding. And this was really
Yeah. Yeah.
all because,
Yeah.
well, for no reason. They had no reason. They just did it.
Nothing but angst.
No. And that's not human. That's
No.
animal.
You can listen and find additional content at mystrangeuncles.com or wherever you get your pods. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review. It helps us gain visibility.
You can also call us at 801-252-6945. And you can find us on Twitter as well at Strange Uncles.
Also on Instagram and Facebook at Strange Uncles Podcast.
Close gates. I promised myself I would just stroll today. Maybe saunter a little bit, but I think it's more of a strolling day.
Well,
I might meander
okay,
maybe
so
later
I
on.
don't- and I don't know if you want to
Depending
talk about
on the
this,
outcome, I could
but
session
while I
it.
was looking around, and I sent you the video last night at 11 o'clock. Did you get it? About 30 minutes from here over in Santa Quin, the TV channel Ghost Adventures did an episode on a restaurant,
Oh, I got that. The Leslie.
the Leslie Family Tree restaurant.
Yeah. It's.
So they're claiming it's
I was going to
haunted,
reach out
and
to
they
them.
claimed, some
Let's- why don't
Indian
we reach out to
hauntings. And I'm not sure, but it almost read that that was part of this Battle Creek massacre.
Really?
When the militiamen went down that
Yeah.
way to the Provo River and they came up.
They stopped there for lunch.
I think they did.
Killed a cow.
You're right, exactly.
They saw the open sign and they went in.
I was going to show you something,
So TV channel did a episode
Let's
on
stand
that.
somewhere. Let me get this set up real quick and get this out of the way here.
but I was going to show you something.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
So ghost hunters, this is one of the reasons they hate us, because I posted this.
Okay.
But they were...
You talking the Utah paranormal or?
No, taps.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
They hate us. As a matter of fact,
They're
once I
assholes,
started posting stuff and started
Yeah.
basically debunking their
Their
claims, yeah, they wanted us to join them. So just basically to shut us up. And I
What are they local?
refused. No.
I never knew where they were from,
East
so I wasn't
Coast.
too sure. Oh, okay.
But they want an organization in every state. Well, there is one here. Why else would they? They only allow one in each state.
They
why
like
would
have a
they want us-
chapter.
So it's like they want organization of sorts. Oh, okay.
So why would they want us to join? It's the Atlantic Paranormal Society. That's what TAPS is.
Oh, okay. I used to watch that years ago.
Yeah, those
I don't even
guys.
know if it's still on. I don't think it's still on. So
But they wanted us to join.
Yeah.
Well, basically because we were posting stuff that just shot them to hell.
yeah.
And on one of them, they were investigating the Tate LaBianca murders. Charles Manson.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And they're in this house that it wasn't the actual house where Tate lived, but it was because that house was torn down, but it was built on the site, and they're just swearing up and down that it was haunted. So they were asking questions, and they were telling them, with this instrument, if you can make it flash twice for yes, so we get our answers. So when this is on, See that green light?
Yeah.
The green light stays on.
Right.
Okay.
You got
So
power.
that's how you know it's on.
Okay.
All right. So there's two ways to operate this, and back in the day, you didn't have the switch. As a matter of fact, I put the switch on this for that reason, just to prevent that problem.
Okay.
Okay. It's got a soft button, which is this. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when it does a diagnostic, when you first turn it on, even with the switch or the soft button, it does a diagnostic. Watch what it does.
Okay.
Flashes twice.
Mm-hmm.
That was there for yes. Okay. Now, how
You
I
got the
busted them.
connection.
Okay, gotcha. Jesus Christ.
How I busted them.
Yeah.
See, you can actually operate this, and you can move your thumb ever so slightly to where it's not noticeable that you're doing it.
But
see,
at the
as
right camera angle,
Oh, sure.
So what
you
happened?
wouldn't see that.
As you're holding it.
Yeah.
I just happened to pause it just as they were asking a question. Flash yes, flash twice for yes,
Mm-hmm.
right? That light is off, which tells me his thumb's off the button.
Yeah.
So when he asked the question,
Right.
well, they're going to answer yes
Yeah.
because it flashed twice.
It just irritates me.
It
I mean,
annoyed
I
me.
get media. I get. Oh,
Well,
I get
entertainment.
that, but
it's,
come on.
It's the TV.
If you really got your
it's the
heart
ratings.
into this.
It's about the ratings and the TV show because I'm sure they were getting.
So after I posted
Yeah.
that, they did a live Halloween thing
Right.
where they were live and they were going through this
They were in the.
castle. of some sort.
No, it was a prison or a. It was a prison.
Can't remember.
He was
Anyway,
an old
one of the
person.
hosts, the younger guy, not the big fat bald guy, but the younger
Right.
guy. Okay, now if you watch previous shows, he's very animated when he's talking. He's using his hand. Well, as they're walking, you hear something. When they very first start, you hear something say, "Stay back." You hear a voice saying that.
Fairly clear.
Another skinwalker.
Oh boy, they're all over the
They're
place.
surrounding us,
I'm not
just like
seeing
the
the
Battle
rabbit
Creek
now.
massacre.
Well, if you investigate into it, and the more I played into it, and I played with the sound a little bit, you hear just before "Stay back," you hear, and right after "Stay back," you hear.
Recording.
Yeah, it was
Clipped it in.
staff members telling people,
Yeah.
but since it got on camera, use
It was
that.
staging. They
Didn't
were
they?
staging.
That's so
people.
irritating.
Yeah. Then they had another one where the guy's walking and he gets stopped and pulled back, and you see the collar of his coat go like this. So I'm watching this and I'm playing it back, and I thought, there's something weird about this. Why is his collar not pulling straight back, but it's pulling down? So you can see it. So, but I notice while he's talking, he's usually very animated. Well, now while he's talking, his hand is in his pocket and never comes out. That doesn't have, that's uncharacteristic.
Because he's got a string tied to it.
Very, yeah, it's exactly what it
He's
was.
got a
And
little
when he
remote.
would, when he would do this, he'd pull the string, so the hand stays in the pocket.
He's his own mannequin. Isn't that nice?
So I watch a little farther because I thought, okay, I need a little more proof of this. So I watch a little farther, and at one point, the bald guy inspects his coat. Yep, there's nothing here. There's nothing attached to it. And when he taps his shoulder, gives him a whack on the shoulder, and says, "No, you're fine," the collar does that. As soon as he hits his shoulder, which
Because the
means
guy
he forced
flinches.
his hand.
Yeah.
So I busted him on that.
just
And
amazing.
that's when we got the email of, Taps would really like you to join their team, and we've heard so much about your group.
Dude, I would have just to say, hey. Yeah, why not?
Well, one thing that you have to remember is another thing I busted on Ghost Hunters was they caught this image. It was black, and it was moving, and they caught it. Well, as I watched, I saw
Max,
a
what?
flicker of white.
Yeah.
And then it dawned on me, wait, they are on IR.
Don't do that to the skinwalkers.
So basically, like under IR light, our shirts look white.
Yeah.
So when you think IR light, the colors are reversed. Because you're seeing black,
Yeah.
does not mean that's what
See,
it's
and that's
wearing.
like, you are better than that than I am because that totally makes sense, but it takes me a while to get to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Because I got to look at it and I got to study it. I'm like, well, what would make that? And then I got my,
That's why
So-
when you're using IR on an investigation, you tell all the women, do not wear a white shirt because
Right.
it's X-ray. You can see
Yeah.
right through white
Right.
with those.
Or
with
do you
IR
tell them
lights.
to
And
wear
that's
a
what
white
all
shirt?
ourselves,
Yeah.
and you
Then I
tell
say, hey,
Hey, wear a white shirt.
with no bra.
Make sure
Yeah.
you wear white and
No
bra
pants
because-
because they're going to show up on the IR.
well, and not
so,
only that, but ghosts don't like it and they get very upset, so
Yeah.
don't wear them.
Yeah, nothing
It's just
at all.
best.
Yeah. Just I'm an expert.
Yeah,
take my
trust me.
take my opinion on
That's
this.
another one of my irritations is when these groups say, well, they call themselves experts in this.
There's no expert in this field.
There's not enough nearly even known about it to be an expert in any of it.
You ever heard of the Rhodes mines?
I have heard of that. Yeah.
About the gold and the whole.
Yeah. There's hidden in there. There's some that was found and there's hidden in there.
Well, so supposedly, according to Josh, Brigham Young.
Hidden pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah, fucking well, and it's hidden in that area, like it's in right there within locale of where the Skinwalker Ranch is, because that's where the preservation was.
Yeah.
But supposedly, legend, Brigham Young found out about it when they were settling, and the Indians said, you know what? They knew what was going on, so the Ute said, "You leave us alone. You have one person that we know that we can identify to come up and get whatever gold you want." And as long as we know who they are, they can do that. And you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone, and that's the deal. They shook hands on it.
Yep.
That supposedly the big statue on top of the temple is solid gold, and it's from that mine.
Right.
Well, this went on for years,
Moroni.
right? And then the guy got sick or ill or old or something that would go do the pickup for Brigham Young. So he sent his son. Well, the Indian tribe didn't recognize the son and killed him on the spot. But that's in that, and nobody's. I mean, there's stories that they have gone gold out of there, gold stamped for a certain area, but nobody can find it. Nobody knows. You know, it's just out in the middle. But it's in that locale, so
yeah.
I don't know. You know.
Believe in UFOs? Felt that chill up your spine that you just can't explain? Contemplate the other side of reality? Do you shake your head at the world that seems to have lost its common sense? Well, look no further than Strange Uncles. Find them on all podcast platforms and call their hotline to tell your side of reality at 801-252-6945. Open the gates.
See, the Indians put that pipe there.
That's an ancient Indian water pipe.
Yeah.
So.
That's how they took the showers, right there.
Yeah, I was standing there and I was just looking, because it's got a good view. And I don't know, you've got the feeling like somebody's standing right behind you. That's kind of what that area was. But I don't know. I don't know if Mike gets those feelings or not.
Oh, I do. From time to time, I do. Been actually touched twice. I'll show you on the dog.
I was never touched. Huh?
No, I was actually. One of the stories, and it was at the old Union Station out in Ogden.
Mm-hmm.
One of the stories was in the train museum. They had a name for this ghost that was in there, supposedly in there. It messes with your hair as
Really?
you're walking through.
Oh,
So I was
teaser.
with the group. We're heading out because we were doing some guides. So we're walking through, and I realized I need batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So I turn around and go back, and when I'm coming back through trying to catch up, sure enough, the hair on the back of my head felt like somebody
Flips
did that.
around, all
and
the way
that's
down.
what the story was.
Huh.
So I thought,
No, I've never had an actual encounter. Like I said, I feel like right now, like there's.
well, the closer
know.
you get to it, and when you're investigating it, and you're staying in there, you're not leaving.
Right.
When you get those, and those feelings, they're giving you those feelings because they want you to
sure.
leave. They don't want you to stand around.
Yeah.
So the more you get into it, the more physical the altercations will become.
My wife is like, "Do you want to come and walk the dogs? Because it's supposed to be a nice park." And she's like, "No, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. Please don't bring something back with you." I'm like, okay.
That's
fair
why
enough.
When people say it's okay to go to the light. That annoys me.
No, I hate that shit.
Especially when I'm holding the flashlight.
Right, exactly.
No, it's not okay.
Don't come this way.
And don't be saying stuff like that because you lose credibility, especially if there is no light.
Right.
So
it's
if
ridiculous.
there is something there, you've just lost all credibility.
Yeah. We can circle back and down. This is kind of odd here, this lower grove portion too.
This is kind of a weird cutout.
Well, see, that's why when I got the feeling, I kind of snapped some pics, and I stood here for a while, and it was quiet. There was nobody around. I just picture this as kind of a, when you're thinking about the battle, you're thinking about what happens.
Yeah.
This little canyon cutout.
Okay, so they put this pipe in, probably just for runoff.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
So, this was probably at one point a waterfall. This was probably a pond.
Possibly.
And it just ran on down, all the way down to the reservoir down here. Well, is that a man-made reservoir?
That was, but you know what? We talked about ponds earlier, and the woman who had her child drowned.
Yes. Could have been right here.
Could have been right here because they never specified where was that. Why are
Yeah,
you way
'cause-
back there?
She's moving back away from our energy.
Oh.
So she can see if she's picking up on
Thanks for explaining that. I feel like an ass now.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. I guess if you can take the title.
that's my goal. So this, I mean, just by looking at it, is formed by water.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can tell. Obviously, there's runoff.
Yeah.
And it
this
comes off
was
the
a
hill.
pond.
Yeah.
As you can see, the way
Some
the
kind of a
ground is
basin.
shaped. Now, you know, it's overgrown and
Right.
but
And who knows this here, if this was built up,
yeah.
because this is obviously it was a road that was put in. It
Yeah.
wasn't. I don't think the Indians paid
So
this
everything
with
was
a
shoved
loader.
aside.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking this was probably deeper at the time. There's no way it was made by that pipe
Right.
because it wouldn't. There'd be no rock above it.
Well, no, because that it would take years and years to
Oh,
get this
I guarantee
erosion.
That pipe has not been there long enough to do this.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. It's almost one of those things that I don't even want to turn my back and walk away from it. Is that weird?
No, it's not weird at all. I've ran into many of those.
Huh. Okay.
I went into one house
Interesting.
where you immediately felt bombarded,
Mm-hmm.
like you were being rushed.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had those experiences.
I actually had to physically say, back off.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had those.
When I first walked in there, I felt something faint. We got over there, and when Shane said this was it, I thought, okay. So I came back over here. It's gone now, but when I walked right past this tree, there's my marker, I could feel some pressure in my head. And my heart started to race a little bit.
Okay.
So then
That's excitement.
I took a few steps forward, faintly there. Took a lot of steps backward. It was gone.
When you get an adrenaline dump like that, it's
When
something.
when you are aware of
Yeah.
of a feeling that's
Makes sense. She's of Native American descent. We're whites. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Contact is going to be made here, not so much where
Right.
we are.
Right.
And the emotions will be different.
Well,
Hatred-
and
hatred and fear. Family.
so
Sure.
there's some energy. So there's some
Okay.
energy.
So
Yeah.
you've got two different energies.
If you want to
traveling
call
at the
it a
same time.
link, maybe
right.
a link,
Okay.
Well, they recognize her as American.
or maybe a
as-
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So they might. So the energies. I'm just maybe talking out loud here and trying to justify. Maybe the energies can feel that I have
Tribal.
some
tribal.
respect and some background and some knowledge.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
nature.
I think
mean,
they
why
pick
not?
up on the tribal.
Sure.
And nothing, and for us, like you said, something I don't want to turn my back on. That's hatred, fear, which makes sense. We're whites.
Oh, of course. Yeah, which I wouldn't blame that in any way, shape, or form.
So see, those
Yeah.
emotions made perfect sense. And so
That's
when
very
you do, when you're
interesting. That's very
investigating and you
interesting.
start putting it together like that, and it's all part of investigating.
Right.
Then you can make sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like I said, they sense tribal, and we know how they feel about the whites.
Yeah, it's a given.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm glad I didn't have a Book of Mormon in my hand. Oh, boy. Would have chased me out of house and home. Yeah, I took several pictures of this and the area, and I was actually picturing this out here when I just, I don't know, it just hit me.
Yeah, this is definitely formed by water. I always like to take, when we're dealing with tribal, I'm not going to go over here any further because there's kids, but when we're dealing
Right.
with tribal, I like to get pictures of the high ground.
Oh, kind of the ridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always like to take pictures of high ground.
Right.
Because you never know what you're going to get.
Right. Have you got anything that...
Yes.
And you have? Okay.
Yeah, I'll show them to you when we go to the house.
Very interesting.
There was one, well, I showed you that one we got. I still can't figure out what that was at the ISA.
Oh, yeah.
That looked like somebody standing there in a hoodie.
So weird.
That was a weird...
Yeah.
But I want to
Well, let's walk down here. I kind of want to get into the Grove because that's nothing really specific other than it just is odd. So... Now that's why I was wondering where the battle actually was, because when you're down in this Grove area, it's got quite a...
It was right in here. This is low ground. This,
right.
I mean, I can assure you, a lot of this is quake, is aspen.
Mm-hmm.
This clump of trees has been here a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking shelter here. So as they started to close, because they had to surround them, so they closed off the canyons. They closed off the low ground.
Right.
It had to be right in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
because they wanted them to come out.
Cameras and some
At night I want to set up, I want to set up static cameras in this whole area, just looking in there.
Yeah.
We could try some EVPs in this
Yeah,
area.
I bet you we're going to get some.
Well,
and that's why we have to do it at night when there's nobody here.
Right. Right, because you got the energy is getting mucked up.
Yeah, well, plus, if you get a voice or you get something, you can't honestly say it wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
You know, people kind of figure it out until it's live. There is, though, I get a depression.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of melancholy.
I think this whole area is...
yeah.
Well, and it makes sense. The sadness.
Right.
The loss.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
The feeling makes sense, but I'm definitely getting a depression in this area. Just
I felt that when the minute I arrived, once I got away from the group of people, and just in this area, like I said, this is just a very
so this
surreal.
Makes sense for that pipe. That pipe that's sticking out of the ground. This is a water storage.
No, the structure. I noticed that back there too. So
that's water storage. So that makes sense. That pipe was probably attached to this at one point.
Right.
And just catching runoff off the mountain.
So we know that. So it could have been. We could have had a.
So, well, if it's catching runoff off the mountain, then that tells you there was a waterfall here.
Right.
And the waterfall is going to create that depression in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to form a pond. That's probably their water supply, which would make perfect sense why the Indians were camping here.
Yeah.
They had water.
Yeah. Water. You're right at the foot of the canyon. You got some protection.
Yeah.
You can see what's coming from this side.
You can see everything.
Right.
Probably should have posted somebody up there, but these were unarmed, peaceful tribes.
Right. Yeah, I've got to study up on the Timpanogos because I don't know a lot about that tribe, to be honest with you. So
Utah area, there really wasn't any violent tribes.
From what I've read so far, like the Utes weren't really violent whatsoever. So
Definitely a heavy feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It's just a real depressing.
Well, wait for it when you come down here because it gets worse.
That's why I'd like to, in the evening when we come back, in September when it's cool, I'd like to get up there and be in that draw right there as the sun goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And just catching recordings.
I'll be back here recording.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be there with you. Yeah, this drops down into this.
What do you think, man? Be in that canyon draw right there when the sun goes down.
Yeah, I don't think we need to wait till September. I think it's going to be warm enough late July and early August.
Yeah, I think maybe we should. What do you think?
I'm for it. Yeah, we make a road trip.
We'll just come down here.
Come out here at night for an hour or so. And
yeah.
I'm fine with that.
But I would like to get up in that draw when that sun goes down because, well, it was sun up, wasn't it, when they were attacked?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't catch a timestamp. I wasn't too sure when it happened.
So I'm wondering. Okay, well, all right. Well, tactics, military tactics tell you they didn't back then. They do now, but back then they didn't attack at night for obvious reasons.
Sure. Yeah.
So it had to be sun up.
Boy, if we could get a time on when and was out here during that time, could you imagine the recorded energy? Just
oh yeah. If you could get we got the exact day.
Yeah.
We should get the time.
Right.
That's what we need.
Oh, I'm sure it's I'm sure it's findable.
They kept journals, so there's no reason to lie about the time. They lied about everything else.
Right.
There's really no reason to lie about the time, and most people don't because it's easier to just write down the time than it is to try to make up a time. But that's when it all comes
So I don't know. I feel like when I walk down here, I just get lower and lower.
It is a depression, and that's why I think this was the camp. It was
Here in this basin, maybe.
Yeah, I think this was the camp.
They've got their runoff here. Again, the view.
And that
you're
that
covered.
Pond,
You got coverage.
So they had from that pond, that waterfall. They had a river.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they had plenty of water.
Yeah.
And they had a pit.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yeah.
This makes sense. Now, if you look at it today, the size of this landing right here, couldn't have been a very big tribe.
No. And maybe it was a splinter off. Maybe it was a fan. I don't know. You know.
Makes sense that this grove of trees would be here, and I'm sure there was more. They probably knocked it out to do the road and all that.
Right.
I'm sure there was more because there's water here.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere we go, we hear behind us.
I just.
I don't hear it in front of us. Just behind us. So what I'd like to do, Shane, is we need to set up some static cam videos. Just looking in this. We can't have the cameras, crossing each other because you got IR light and they're just going to blind each other. You're going to get nothing but flare.
Right.
So like one at the end and maybe a couple pointing inwards.
How many do you have?
Oh, 5 or 6 that I could use.
I haven't seen that set up yet, so I'd be curious to learn.
I have 20 or 30 static cameras, but they're not battery. So they would need power, and I don't think there's any power.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I saw a couple currant bushes when I was coming down, so you can plug in one of those maybe.
Well, yeah.
They were
the
installed by the AC bush.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little rabbit. That rabbit is following us. Skinwalker.
You've noticed that, haven't you?
Yeah.
I've been noticing that. He's been pouncing along the whole way. He doesn't bug anybody else, because there's a bunch of people up there.
There's 2.
Yeah.
But those were the 2 that were up there.
Right.
Well, because I can tell what rabbit it was.
I saw you pick up their legs and look. I saw that.
You have to blow the fur away. Let's stand over here while she does this.
Yeah, that's why I was going to back away a little bit.
But that's a technique that she does quite often. I've done it a couple of times, but you just get to know your surroundings, and you can feel energy changes. Oh, that's why I want to kind of get out of her little field here, so she's not.
She has her own bubble going on.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, don't throw a rock at her or run up and tap her on the shoulder. That might not be a good idea.
No, that'd be bad. But
that's interesting. Is it successful with her when she does that?
Yeah, it is. Huh. As a matter of fact, that's what she was doing when we were getting all those readings off of her.
Damn. Interesting.
I've had it. It works. I mean, I've done it.
Right.
And you just kind of, your whole point is just to kind of get in tune with.
Well, you're focused.
Yeah.
Oh, you just get focused.
Yeah. And then you can feel changes in it.
Right.
And the more aggressive the change.
Right.
So she's doing the native thing where she'll face the 4 directions.
Oh, gotcha. That's what, okay. That makes sense.
And she's going to pick up on the energies around. And she could probably, I would say, zero in on where that actually took place. But I'm thinking they were massacred low.
Well, like I said, you've got coverage, you've got, I would say we're kind of probably in the thick of where everything was at.
Well, it makes sense with the water.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the west, and then she'll face us. But see, that's what I'm asking. Is this reservoir, or is this just
I think this is a reservoir. I don't know. I read like there's a pond, it freezes over in the wintertime. This is the only pond I can see.
This has got to be it.
Interesting.
Now, one of the other theories is you get a lot of spirit energy around water because water's a natural energy.
Yes, it goes back to when we talked about the frequency of the Earth, and I covered ley lines in one episode. It's proven or has been scientifically hypothesized that when those ley lines in that frequency and there's water underneath, that frequency just skyrockets, it jumps up.
Yes.
Because it's a draw of a sort.
Moving water is even more intense.
Right.
So we could still have, where this waterfall was, we could still have underground water. It's still running.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
But that pipe makes sense now that I saw that water storage tank. But see, these trees probably weren't here at the time, but these are aspen trees, so that they grow off each other.
Well,
so
who's to say they weren't here? I mean, I don't know how long it takes an aspen tree to grow.
I don't either, but I can tell you that they just sprout off of each other. They sprout off the roots, so it's constant.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say this grove has been here forever, but these trees might be relatively new. But they're offspring of the trees that were here.
Not just a cool punk band.
Yeah.
I caught that.
2, I'm going to ask Jenny this, but I'm wondering if this was a camp, a prolonged camp that had been here a while, there had to have been a prayer circle, which would be intense.
Yes, and I can imagine.
And it may have just occurred right in the middle of their encampment.
Well, most do, because it's a neutral, common area.
And there's fire, energy from the fire.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see, the teepee is still there.
It's the grill they had installed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, IKEA was just down the road, so the tribe really,
they were pretty well.
It was pretty accessible. Yeah.
I mean, they could just right down here to city.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I don't think they had to worry about permits.
Or food.
God, we're assholes. Can't keep seriously, save our lives.
I would be killing cattle. I passed a Wendy's.
Yeah, right. I heard Dave Thomas was a good friend.
But, again, doing investigations like this, especially like this, man, it might sound crass to be joking, and you got to. Because the depression.
Yeah, you got to kind of lighten the load a little bit.
I mean, unless you're here and you're experiencing it, this is the most depressing park I think I've ever been in.
Oh, I've been in. Boy, you should have been with me when I did my road trip and I went to that Spokane.
There's this. Go to Bridger too.
Bridger. Where's that at?
Wyoming.
Oh.
That was the site of Civil War battles.
Oh, really? When I was a kid, the first time that I picked up on, not the first time, but I say the first time that and this sounds stupid, I kind of was overwhelmed. I was 11 or 12, and our school, Corvallis, Montana, took a bus to the Big Hole battlefield near Big Hole, Montana. And they had the feathers where the Indians were dyed and cowboy hats with and it was a whole epic, and we all know it's an epic battle anyway. When I stepped onto that thing, I just absolutely, immediately depressed.
That doesn't feel stupid at all. I mean, it's a fact, and I've been doing this a long time, well over 30 years. And I can tell you by fact that some people are more in tune to what's going on or what has gone on than others. Some people will feel nothing, while other people are just incredibly disturbed by their surroundings.
Yeah. It's hit and miss for me, but boy.
That feeling when you're in a fear cage?
Yeah.
I keep getting that faint feeling. Have you ever been in a fear cage?
I don't know if I have or not.
Fear cage.
I mean, I know what it is. You described it to me before, because I didn't know. I've never heard of the topic or the definition of
being in your field, in your profession, you've been around poorly grounded.
And I have.
And you
I just didn't know that's what they called it. Yeah. And yes, you're absolutely right. Like old galvanized lines, shorts, knob and tube wiring.
You pick up on that energy, and it feels like there's somebody standing there when it's just a big blob of energy.
Thick,
yeah.
And it feels real heavy.
And that's what you're
if
feeling?
You're exposed to it for a long time, you start feeling like you're wearing down, and then you start getting depressed and sick, and your heart rhythm changes. And
That's here.
Well, and it's
faint, real faint, but obviously this is not a fear cage. But I get that same feeling just very faintly. I can imagine what it's like in the evening or early in the morning.
Depending on the intensity, like I said, with a bad ground, that's a carcinogen. I mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and like out here, maybe those AC current bushes, maybe they're not grounded right.
Maybe not.
That could be what's going on.
Roots are snapped or something. But it makes sense Imagine the fear that overcame everybody here when all this took place. I mean, at some point they'd figured out they were being hunted, and now all of a sudden they're finding themselves. Right. They know they're not going to survive that. Yeah, there's no way that this.
Could you imagine when you come to that that moment when it's like, this is inedible. Yeah. There's nothing we can do.
Yep. And we're not getting out of this alive. They're not going to allow it.
Right.
And they had already made up their minds. Yeah. And hunting them, even though they knew they didn't do anything. Yeah. Their minds were made up. They were going to kill these people.
God. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for what it's worth, Kiwanis Park, Pleasant Grove, or Battle Creek, I guess I should say, a little bit more appropriate. But been an adventure, and it's worth the visit if you ever want to feel awful. Anyway. Close against. Yeah, so it was just like we discussed before the recording. It was very foreboding. Number one, awful that it even happened, and and I'm not going to try to sit here and say that. Well, maybe I am. That maybe that wasn't the right way to go about that kind of a battle.
No, Brigham Young was a horrible piece of shit and a terrible racist, and fuck that guy.
Well, there's that.
Oh, absolutely was.
Oh, yeah.
His guardian angels were bodyguards, who came and if he wanted your wife, he took her, and if he didn't like it, they'd kill you.
Yeah, wasn't Porter one of those bodyguards? Isn't that right?
Yes, he was. He was actually a hired hitman.
Yep.
Yeah. It just absolutely amazed me. And, no offense to anybody who is of the Mormon religion. I mean, respect for all religions out. But, when you come to a person, he was a charlatan before he even knew and made up the name Mormon. He was a charlatan that got chased out of East.
Joseph Smith was worse.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, And again, I got to say, Mike, thank you very much for the time up there. I mean, it belonging to this group that you made, number one, is kind of humbling. We've done other investigations kind of around that, but this is one that we just kind of, we decided to go out there on a Saturday and just do some daytime investigations, cover some history, cover some lore. And if nothing else, it really opens your eyes for what happens.
It kind of touched us. Jennifer she's Native American, so that kind of touched her personally.
Yeah, I caught that. I was actually watching her when we were up there, and I think there was times you and me, Mike, kind of backed away and let her do her thing, and just very surreal, to be honest with you.
And you don't want to upset Jennifer anyway, so
no, not in general. No, I've got on her bad side, and I've lost limbs, so we don't want to do that at all. So anyway, but man, thank you for the time. Thank you for the enjoyment on it. Hopefully everybody listened to it. Mike, where can we find you? You want to promote some of your stuff?
Well, you can find us on our website at www.oquirrhmountainpi.com. That's really where you find us. Oh, and on Strange Uncles.
And on Strange Uncles, yeah.
Yep.
True. So anyway, that was awesome. I appreciate it. And John and Josh, I just wanted you to, be part of it too, because it was kind of amazing. And maybe in the future, we'll do a group setup. I know schedules are sometimes tough.
Yeah, I would love to.
I would love to do that too.
Well, we have the one coming up that, we'll discuss that.
We will discuss it. It's not planned yet, but if it happens, it's going to be amazing.
The email has gone out, so.
Right. Too cool. Mike, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
No worries. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, man.